Good day everyone, this is Sniper Elite 5 and in this video just going to talk about some things I'd like to see in the Sniper Elite series or to a continuation or what new things I'd like to see in this series moving forward. But first of all, just to mention that even though I'm a Rebellion creator, I don't have any information directly from Rebellion about the Sniper Elite series, you know, what's new or what's happening with it. So these are just my own thoughts and opinions on the matter after what we played with Sniper Elite 5 and Sniper Elite Resistance and what I want to see moving forward. But first of all, with Sniper Elite, I'd like to see a Sniper Elite 6. The last game, Sniper Elite Resistance, was played in parallel to Sniper Elite 5, so it wasn't, you know, something brand new. And then I think to myself, it probably felt more like a standalone DLC more than anything. You know, it had the same engine. There's pros and cons to that, but it felt as though, hey, you could have seen Carl Fairbairn doing all these missions. But you know, in Resistance, we played as Harry Hawker. Carl Fairbairn was doing his own thing, Sniper Elite 5, of course. But yeah, moving forward, I like to see Sniper Elite 6. So, you know, once again, Carl Fairbairn should be the main central character they're playing with. The setting, no, I don't know exactly. I'm not too fussed about the setting too much, no matter where it's located. You know, we had Italy, we had France, we've had Africa. Maybe I'd like to see a return to Germany. Maybe I would like to see some maps that are more diverse, especially maybe a snow-covered map or snowy areas. I don't think we've had many or even any snow maps in number 5 and Resistance, probably because of the location is set in France. But yeah, I'd like to see maybe a bit of environmental change in regards to it too. So something snowy would be nice to see. But also talking with that, the graphics. Do you want to keep it to what we know from Sniper Elite 5, or do you want to change it for something new and maybe look better? My mind says I'd like to see something new, but if we're using an already established engine that we've done in number 5, then they're very familiar with it, they know how to work with it. If there's any issues, it should be easy to overcome. You know, they've done it, used the engine for so many years. But of course, if you move to a new engine, hopefully that could mean, you know, things look a bit more better, I guess, in terms of graphical quality. Maybe something more allow us to see more better graphics, explosions and things like that, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm on the fence on that. I probably would say, personally speaking, if they keep it to the same engine and we still have the same top-notch gameplay and everything else we're familiar with 5, then great. But if they move to a new one and they're on top of it, that's fine too. But not something I can really give a definite answer at this stage. Now, in terms of gameplay, what do I want to see making a return, or what do I want to see change? I say long shots is the main thing for me. But I want long shots to be actually worthwhile. In Sniper Elite 5, long shots were great. I think the average distance of long shots was at least over 500 meters. Of course, we had the Spy Academy mission, which was 1,937 meters, so insane distance. But I'd like to see long shots make a return, of course, but to something where we need to try to find the location or the viable location to nail the long shot. Unfortunately, in Resistance, the long shots felt quite short. I think in one mission it was like only 300 meters, maybe 200 meters or 300 meters, something quite short. And I think at least half of the long shots in Resistance were given to you at the very beginning of a mission. So you start the mission, you don't really have to move, or you move a tiny bit and you can find a target to meet the distance for the long shot medal, or the gold long shot medal to be more precise. But I prefer it where, you know, we don't know, or it's difficult to try to know or to work out the particular location where you need to be standing and the target to hit. But also long shot distance should feel quite epic. So anything over 500 meters on average, I'd love to see, but I'd like to maybe return to insane distance. So maybe more closer to maybe 1,000 meters. I'd definitely love to see it. But yeah, definitely want long shots to feel as though it's quite a massive achievement if you do nail it. Now, in terms of weapons, I'd probably say stick to the classic weapons we know and love from not only Sniper Elite, but also any other World War II games. So, you know, like the Lee Enfield's rifle, the Thompson submachine gun, MP40, MP44, all those classic weapons that we know of as well. Use that as a base, but then also feel free to add in other weapons we're not too familiar with. honestly speaking, the weapons that we had in Sniper Elite Resistance at the beginning, I didn't really know too much about them. I was kind of like thinking, why did it didn't start off with the classic weapons? These are weapons I'm not too familiar with in Resistance, but I'd say start with classic weapons and then maybe add or put on top of it newer weapons that we're not too familiar with. That's just my own thinking, but I feel as though that pretty much any World War II based game would have those weapons that you're familiar with, not only from, I guess, this game or other games, but also from any other sources of media, like, you know, movies and TV shows that we've seen before in the past. So yeah. What else do you want to see? Authentic difficulty. I'd like to see one more above it, which I believe is Authentic Plus, which there was in Sniper Elite 4. In all honesty, I didn't really do Authentic Plus in Sniper Elite 4, but I like to see something that's more difficult than just the standard Authentic difficulty from Sniper Elite 5. Of course, you have the option to play it on easier or harder, it's up to you, but after a while playing Authentic difficulty, it does seem to be quite easy once you know the enemies are and their patterns, but maybe change up a bit where there's Authentic Plus, where maybe more enemies appear or enemies are more aggressive, they rush you, they try to maybe even flank you or inundate you with gunfire. Something makes as though that, you know, if you really stuff up or you're really in trouble, that the enemy wants to try and take advantage of it and tries to overpower you. I feel as though that at the moment with Authentic difficulty, even if you do stuff up, it's quite easy to get out of it. You know, you can take out enemies quite simplistic when they're trying to shoot you, but it doesn't seem as though that even Authentic difficulty, it's much of a challenge. That could just be me talking about that. I'm sure other people might have different thoughts and opinions on it, but something more difficult. The option is there. You don't have to play on Authentic Plus. You can choose to avoid it or don't play at all, but at least for those that want something more challenging, I'd like to see Authentic Plus be in the next game. Now I'll take this time to mention that feel free to subscribe to the channel. We've got a lot of Sniper Elite content on it, so it'd be great to be for you guys to be part of the community. Thank you very much. Now, moving on, what things I want to see or make a return? Well, I think the sound is great in Sniper Elite 5 Resistance. You know, the explosions in the background, or the planes flying overhead, vehicles, they seem pretty cool as well. Sound is quite top notch from what I've heard. I played a lot in Sniper Elite 5. Gunfire, everything seems to be great. Enemies, I guess the voiceovers or the human factor maybe could be worked on, like death sounds or whatever. But yeah, the sound, I guess keep it as it is if needs be. Don't need to really try to do it in changing it or for the sake of it. Just keep it as it is. It should be great. Just maybe add more to make the sound quite epic. Sound is like quite a very important thing, I feel, especially in a war type of game where you got sounds going off like explosions and gunfire in the background. Definitely sound is great. I appreciate the sound in the Sniper Elite series. Kill challenges definitely want to make a return. The things where you gotta target one particular enemy in a mission and you gotta take them out in a particular way just to unlock maybe a weapon or some other attachment. Yeah, definitely appreciate those kill challenges. Adds to the longevity and replayability of the game. Sometimes you gotta take out enemies in a quite particular way, like you gotta drop a V2 rocket on top of scientists. That was in Sniper Elite 5. That was great. Maybe you gotta take out a target from a particular distance or kill them with poison. Those are definitely welcome to make a return for sure. Definitely like doing those as well. Now this one might be a bit, I won't say controversial, but yeah, I guess it could be in a way. When you're taking out enemies like a headshot, or even more so with say like an explosion from a mine or a grenade, the body doesn't really react to it. You probably, I don't know, how do I say this? Oh, do you want to see dismemberment of limbs and body parts in the game? I guess maybe they can't do it for whatever reasons in terms of censorship. But some other games from the past, I know that if you shoot at a limb, or the arm or a leg, they fly off. One example is probably Call of Duty World at War in multiplayer. That was quite prevalent, where you use a particular rifle or kill somebody with a grenade, explode, and you see body parts fly off. Yeah, it's a bit hard to definitely say I want to see it. I wouldn't mind seeing it, but then you got to think about, well, they're allowed to, or if they want to, might be one thing they need to keep in mind about, censorship or ratings. So I would think, so many times you're seeing enemies step on a landmine, or get hit with a sticky grenade when they explode, or when the when the grenade explodes. The body just flies off. Nothing really happens to it, but yeah, it doesn't mean too much in the end. But I guess maybe that will be available if they use a different graphics engine. Who knows in that case there. But yeah, this is just a few things I wanted to discuss and mention about in Sniper Elite in the series. Some things to add, maybe some things to fix up in the future. I just wanted to give a bit of my thoughts on what I'd like to see in the future. Hopefully there is a Sniper Elite 6 in the works. I don't know exactly, but I would think, being a quite popular franchise, and I think maybe one of the only unique games of sniping being made at the moment, so it'd be great to see Sniper Elite 6 be officially announced, or say, yeah, we're working on it, and what they've got in plan. And these are just some of my thoughts I would like to see included, also improved in the game in the future. But anyway, cheers to the guys. If you're new, please subscribe, and we'll catch you later. Bye bye.